Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairymuppet. Welcome back to a bit more Factorio Space Age. So, we haven't quite been on for a little while, but we've been doing some good stuff. And as you can see, we are producing Promethium science at a scale that is... Well, it is a scale. Let's just call it like that. So basically, if we get this Promethium science pack, that's the consumption. The production, we tick on global statistics. Where is it down in this graph? It's here somewhere. Anyway, we can see that over here is this little spiky graph. So, and if we have a look at the 10 hour, you can see that it was spiky about 0.2 to 0.3 and then spiky about 1.2 to 1.3, 1.4 hours ago. So, yes. So, if reducing a whole ton of it, yeah, every now and then. So, our average over the last hour was 2.6, 2.8 per minute, and that is with 4 ships running. So basically they go all the way out to the edge of the edge to about 100k, just past 100k, and then they turn back, and by the time they get back, they've got about 25k. We've got a circuit condition that says chunk greater than or equal to 10k. And this actually produces 25k, first of all, because when this reaches 10k, there's a whole bunch of other Promethium in the system that hasn't even got down to this point yet. So it hasn't counted, but it's already been created. And we're right in the middle of the boondocks, so quite a lot gets produced. But as well as that, we've also got a ton of biter eggs that are just sort of left over because it picks them up off the way out. So the first few hundred Promethium gets converted into science. So it'll just be sitting as science for pretty much the entire trip back. And that all that Promethium is getting pulled in on the way out to the edge. So by the time it reaches 10, it's actually pulled in about, I don't know, 11 or 12 or something like that. But some of it's already been converted to science. So then by the time it gets back, it's got 25k, which is more than enough to trigger this circuit is greater than or equal to 20k, so reaches the solar system edge and immediately goes through and does the next thing. Now these guys have been on a few loops so far. Nothing has ever been destroyed. They seem to be able to go out to 100k, a little bit past 100k. No issue. Ammo is no issue because of course they have a very long time where they go back to Aquilo and they go back to Nalvis and they do all the science stuff. And there's plenty of time for the ammo to regenerate during that period. All 3 are copies of Deeper Space, pretty much. They're all using explosive rockets. There are some differences. Obviously, these only have epics at the front, whereas the Deeper Space one still has its legendary because, of course, after the last video, I reloaded completely. I did not just continue on with that video. I reloaded from scratch. So I've still got Deeper Space and it is still fully going and it's still got its legendary prod modules everywhere, although they're not really necessary. Every ship does have legendary prod modules for the cryogenic plants, which make the science, but not really for anything else. I think they may have put them here as well, which is nice. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So we got 4 ships going back and forward. I haven't had them running for too long, so I can't like look back at the last 10 hours and sort of say these are the stats. But yeah, I'd say about 2.8 is reasonable. So that's for 4 ships. I've got 3 more on the way now. Now, I would probably build another 2 on top of that, just to be on the safe side. So we'd have a total of 9 ships. Now, the problem as you can see, is that we're currently sitting at about 40 UPS. And the only reason we've got that much UPS is because only 2 of the ships are actually out at the Shattered Planet. Once all 4 of them are going towards the Shattered Planet, you can see it dropping down to like 35 and stuff like that. So these asteroids are giving us a lot of, they're really hitting the UPS nice and hard. If we're doing every science but Promethium, then we drop down to like low 50s, high 40s, that sort of thing. But we're solidly in the 30s now with 4 ships. Now, once we get up to 9 ships, I reckon we'll be in the 20s. So, yes, 5k SPM with 60 UPS is not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So, don't even worry about it. I was over here because we weren't building any turrets because we're out of legendary. We don't have that much legendary iron gear wheels because most of these guys are doing the fancy upcycling, which I never coded up for the iron. And that is a bit of a problem because our new DSMs do not have that many turrets. Missing a lot of. They're missing their legendary rocket turrets as well up the front. Yeah, I'm not sure. Is this going to be the final episode? Are we going to do another episode later on? I'm really not sure because I mean I'm kind of like done with this. I'd like to say, like, we know how to get to 5k SPM, and I think that's the main thing. And it's just the UPS is a killer. Everything else is pretty much taken care of. So we've got these 2 down here, and I've created another 4 up here. In addition to that, I created 2 more bioflux transport ships to take the bioflux from Gleba. We're still using the original base to produce the bioflux, but they're doing pretty good. Like, these guys are almost maxed. So if we needed to produce some more bioflux, I'm sure we could. If you're wondering why the belt is going so slow, 34 FPS, 34 UPS. That is why the belt is going so slow. Yeah. So, we're pretty much, well, we're not done, but I feel like we're kind of done. I feel like we're right at the end, and I'm going to be honest, I don't feel like really playing this game for another 10 hours. I mean, yeah, we could just leave it running. It's Wednesday at the moment, so maybe on the weekend I'll just leave it running. Or what I might do is I'm in the office tomorrow, so I'll just log on in the morning and I'll leave it running all day. And then tomorrow afternoon I can sort of see how stable it is. And if it's extremely stable at like the 2.8k range, then I can probably just say, okay, we need to create another 4 or 5 ships, and then we're golden, and that'll be pretty much it. If there are actual other problems, then we'll go fix other problems, but yeah. Look at all these rockets landing. Like, we got tech science, we got space science, we got Aquilo science, we got volcanic science, we got Gleba science. They're all just pouring down. It's like a hailstorm of science falling into all of our cargo bays. What did I set for this? I set the Promethium science to be 24k, which is going to be 480,000, and I extended the cargo area to make sure we could fit that much. Obviously, we're not ever going to have that much science because we're only producing 2.8k at the moment, so it kind of gets used up. There we go, 34. This one still hasn't made it all the way out there. That one's a bit slow. These guys is a 53. That's a 4. That's a 42. So this one's the furthest along. And as we can see, it's got 2.4k, but it's still converting. It's got 2.4k, but I think most of it is just passing through the belt at the moment. And we're starting to see some actually get up here. And now we see some science actually being built. So yeah, it's kind of okay. That's not going to go up too much, but yeah, by the time it gets out to about 115k, or 120k, then it should be good. Now, could we improve UPS on this ship? Potentially. We could make it thinner. I think if we make it thinner, maybe less asteroids with the thing. Excuse me for 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Apparently that was the border force, and I'm about to get evicted from my country, according to some random phone call which sounds suspiciously like an AI voice. So, yes, I am. Somehow I'm not too concerned, but anyway, could we make the ship thinner so less asteroids spawn? I feel like maybe we're at the edge of asteroid spawning anyway. I mean, if we have a look at fusion items. Okay, they only go out to this much, and then they go out to this much. So maybe that is a thing, because that's probably about, if we have a look, how many tiles that is. So these are probably twice as wide, and it is spawning asteroids all the way out there. So yeah, we could probably save some UPS by just making a thinner ship. A lot thinner ship. Having said that, there are limits to the length of the ship. So would we be able to still travel at this speed with the thinner ship? I'm not sure. Would we be as awesome with the thinner ship? Definitely not. Like 100% would not be as awesome with a thinner ship. So yeah, forget that idea. But yeah. It is what it is. I guess the ship is slowing down UPS. Oh, we're down below 30. We just hit 29. God, did I say 4 or 5 more of these ships? I mean, if I put them in cycles, right now they're all sort of synced up a fair bit. So they're all kind of in the shattered planet at the same time. So, and they do spend not that long. I'd say probably like 10 to 15 minutes in the shattered planet. And the rest of that is, a lot of that is that huge distance of traveling to and from Aquila in the solar system. So yeah, they are quite painful when they do that. This one's actually, I think this one's pretty much done. It's just turrets. Does not have a lot of turrets. What is going on here? Why are you not building any ammo? Ah, you are building ammo. Okay, that's good. Why are you not building rocket ammo? Because you need explosives, because we're not sending enough water up here yet, and carbon. Yeah, because the carbon has to back up all the way back here before it goes down to there, and then it starts sending carbon off to the rest of the thing. And the water is just, there's just not a lot of water in this system, so... Yep. That is okay. That is fine. But yeah, it's slowly building up. The fusion reactors are going because, of course, we're bringing in the fusion fuel from Nauvis. And how's that ship going, actually? NV fusion fuel. It's doing okay. It's got 880 in its cargo hold. It seems to be doing fine. But yeah, none of the other science has fallen over, as far as I can tell. They're all pretty healthy. Yeah, we got pretty much 40k of everything except Aquila, which is 120k because the travel distance is so much longer. But yeah, nothing has fallen over except for our UPS. Our UPS is the only thing that's fallen over. So if we look at the graph for science, yeah, so we had a bit of a spike of global, we had a bit of a spike here, and then we had a bit of a spike here, 0.3 and then 1.3. So it does seem like an hour round trip for those ships. Now here's the thing. We have to make this Promethium science on a spaceship. So if we wanted to improve that round trip, we can't do it on the solar. We can't do ship-to-ship transfers at the edge of the solar system. We can't do ship-to-ship transfers. So the best we could do is going all the way back to Aquilo, loading up on the biter eggs and dropping off the science there. Which might be more efficient, because then we'd have other ships taking the biter eggs over to here and then taking the science back. So that would be more efficient. which I'm a little bit worried about. I don't think the biter eggs affect the efficiency of the science that comes out, because the Promethium science packs don't have efficiency, they don't have spoilage, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. So we could do that, but yeah, at this point, I think as a proof of concept, 5K SPM is possible. It's just dead. It's dead on arrival for the UPS. And I think it really is just those asteroids, because, yeah, I mean, the rest of our entire system, like I said, it probably goes down to about 45 or something at the minimum with everything else, but the asteroids, they take it straight down to like 30 when they're all running. So I think the asteroid UPS is just terrible when you got this many ships out in the shattered planet. And I mean, if we perfectly timed the ships, let's do some math actually. Let's do some math. So we got 115, which is about 230,000 kilometers, divided by 172 speed per second, divided by 60. So they spend 22.2 minutes going out to the shattered planet, approximately, out of the hour. So we got 4 ships now. So we might be able to get away with 7, but we'll probably be able to get away with 8. So that means we have 8 ships total, each spending 22 minutes, which is about a third of their time in the shattered planet, which means at any one time we'd have a third of the 8, which is 2.5, 2 2/3. So round up to 3, because we've still got, even to get to the edge of the solar system, they've still got to go through the thing, which I'm going to be honest is another massive amount of time. Like, this is still 100k, so it's another 200k, which is another 22 minutes, so another 20 minutes. So and there's still huge asteroids here, so I'd say for at least half of this it's going to be massive. So yeah, so that means with so we could say about 300 kilometers, 350 or so, which means even if we have 8 ships, on average about 4 of them will either be on this half of the solar system edge dealing with the asteroids, or going out towards the shattered planet, which means that the UPS we are seeing now is going to be typical for the entire process of us getting this science. So we're just going to be at constantly 30 UPS. So yeah, if I knew how to do all this debug malarkey, maybe I could figure it out, but I don't really need to. I don't need to do any of the debug malarkey to know that entity time usage. Yeah, something like that. Okay, this is actually what you sort of look at, and I know that the bigger the numbers these are, the more painful it is. So let's actually have a look at these numbers on the left. So the big numbers are the painful numbers. So if we have a look, assembly machines are pretty high, but we're not using any extra assembly machines. Well, okay, all right, back up a second here. We could be using legendaries, and that would multiply crafting speed by 3.125. Additionally, if we started using legendary speed modules everywhere and legendary bins, that would probably bump it up by a little bit more. So we could divide this by about 3. So we could take that from about 1.4 down to about 0.4, 0.5, something like that. Okay, all right. Here's the thing. I'm having a fresh look at this. I'm having a fresh look at this guy. This is not actually that big a deal. This is 1.4. This is 0.7. The asteroid collectors are 10 point blah. 10 point blah. The vast majority of those are going to be, if we have a look at how many ships we've got going on, I mean, we've got these ones. They're doing bugger all, okay? These guys are absolutely doing bugger all. All of the massive amounts of asteroid collections. So these are doing a fair bit. And these guys are doing a fair bit. Okay, so that's huge. The asteroid collectors are actually huge on the UPS scale. They are just going nuts. Now, here's the thing. We need the ones at the front to capture Promethium because we need Promethium. That's just how it is. And we need the legendary ones because otherwise we're collecting less Promethium. So yeah, that's just how it is. Now the ones on the side, we could potentially do something where we shut them off if these guys are backed up to a certain period. So we have a look at, let's look at DSM-4, which isn't actually going anywhere yet. Let's put a power pole here. So we do that. Set filters. Yeah, okay. So we could put a bit of logic over there that says, okay, if these belts are all backed up, then we turn these asteroid collectors off. And that would save us a bit of UPS. Having said that, how many of these are actually running? These guys are barely running at the back. So we've probably got like two that are really running at the side, and then we got 8 that are really running at the front. And the 8 that are really running, we need them to be running because they're collecting the Promethium. So we could probably take that down to about an 8. Realistically, we take that down from a 12 to an 8, which I'm going to be honest is not much of an improvement. I don't think that's going to get us above 60 FPS. And I think that that's a big enough number that unless we manage to fully fix that, we're not going to be able to get anywhere else. Like, unless we fix that, we're never getting above 60 FPS. 60 UPS. So yeah, asteroid collectors, terrible for UPS. Especially when you're out at the edge of the shattered planet. And I don't really know a way, there's no real workaround for that, unfortunately. Well, we had a workaround, but the workaround is not going to be good enough to fully fix it. And we could fully fix it further, but I mean, what are we going to do? Reduce the amount of asteroid collectors we're using? No, they're going nuts because they're getting Promethium asteroid chunks, and we need 5k SPM, which means we need a buttload of Promethium asteroid chunks. We need, if we do the math here, so that's, so 5k times 2.5 is 12,500, and we factor in the prod bonus over here, which is 200%, so we divide that by 3. It's 4,166 divided by... Okay. So we need 69.4 Promethium asteroid chunks per second. Okay, 69.4. So yes, all of these legendary asteroid collectors are 100% necessary. If we started using normal ones, we would not, like, we would have to have, like, I don't know, 10 times as many ships, maybe 5 times as many ships to get the same job done. It would just not be possible. So we have to use legendary asteroid collectors, at least for the front of the ship. yeah, so that's pretty much it. I mean, and yeah, we just can't do it without that sort of stuff. So as far as reducing, and look at this, 10.5. That's about half of our total UPS usage is those bloody asteroid collectors. Now, the other big thing over here, there's a few like projectiles. I'm actually surprised that the gun turrets are using, turrets down here at 0.07. And then projectiles, that's got to be the rockets, and I'm guessing the rail guns. So they're not too bad. It's kind of a bit high, but it's not too bad. And then the turrets are high as well, but they're a lot lower than I expected them to be. And then, of course, we got the inserters, which I think is just, yeah, it is what it is. Maybe we could use stack inserters for some things, but to be honest, inserters are always a massive pain in the ass. We could use legendaries. The problem is the legendaries only speed them up. They don't speed up the hand grab size. So I mean using stack inserters, because stack inserters, where are they? Stack inserters have a hand stack size of 16 instead of 12. So we could do that. We could use more direct insertion and stuff like that, because we are pretty heavily a belt-based base, and so there's a lot of inserters going on everywhere. If we look down at our recycling setups, all these guys are using inserters and stuff like that. There's a lot of insertion going on, so yeah, that is kind of just what it is. So if we use stack inserters, then like a stack grabber could probably grab them off a lot easier, so we could make that a lot more efficient. Maybe take like 1 point off that or something like that. I'm not sure exactly. I know some advanced Megabase builders have, whatchamacallit, they like sync inserters to like clock pulses across the entire Megabase. So that drastically reduces the amount of UPS, I think. But yeah, I think a lot of it is probably belt-based. So maybe if we did a lot more direct insertion or something like that. Direct insertion, direct trains or something. I was planning on doing trains directly inserting into buildings, but yeah, that kind of, we didn't really need any of our big trains going out to the mining deposits, direct loading off miners, so a lot of those plans just sort of fell through, and we just ended up using the 1-4 trains for pretty much the entire Megabase, and it's hard to use a 1-4 train and do direct insertion into this sort of setup. It usually works with much bigger trains. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So we've learned some very, very important things, and honestly, so let's recap right now. Where are our rocket ships? They're still out there. Some of them are coming back. This guy's coming back. He's got 22k and he's got 75k left. So they definitely do stack up. It's very hard to get them to have exactly 25k. We hit a new low. That was 26 FPS. Sorry, my cough is just not great today. It's really not great. Doing too much talking at work today. But yeah, yeah, so that's pretty much it. Let's look at some other UPS things. Fusion generators and fusion reactors are very small, which I like to see. They're not zero, but they're relatively small. If I think about this, I think, I can't remember what the exact math is, but I think this has to be below like 16 or something like that. It's like one of those things where you divide it by 1,000. So yeah, so if you divide it by, because this is like milliseconds or something like that. So if the entity total updates is 16.6667 or less, then that means you get 60 frames per second. Now we're getting about 30 frames per second, which means this is technically capping out at 33. It's most of the time it seems to be lower than that. It seems to be in the 10s. So I don't understand why our UPS is so low. It should be in the 40s or 50s with this constantly hitting down to 10s, but maybe there's something else at play there. Yes, but honestly, I don't know what the solution for that is. If you want to build a 5K SPM Megabase, you could probably do it as long as you ignore Promethium science. As soon as you get to Promethium science, like the rest of it, I was sitting at high 40s, low 50s. We could refactor that a great deal in order to get to the point where we are at 60 FPS, 60 UPS standard. I think we could probably do that. I think it would probably not be too much of a hassle. Like, it would be doable. The Promethium, though, that asteroid collector, I just don't know. It's a brand new mechanic that we're all experiencing for the first time, and the UPS is just, it's just nuts. Like the actual asteroids is 0.7, which is still high. I mean, if you think about it, we got to keep it about below 16, right? We're going to keep the entire base below 16. So 0.7 is still a chunk, but compared to the rest, I mean, 0.7 is probably like, what is it, the third highest in this entire list? Now, assembly machine is 1.2, then asteroids are 0.8, and then inserters are 3.6. Okay, so it's the fourth highest. Other stuff like furnace. I am assuming that furnaces include foundries, because I've got like no furnaces in the entire base. Okay, explosions. Is that when... That's got to be the rockets. That's got to be the explosive rockets. So the projectiles are 0.2, and then the explosives are another 0.2. So explosive rockets do take their toll. If you use single target rockets, they're probably a lot better on the UPS. Cargo pods, surprisingly small, but nice to see. But yeah, asteroids and the asteroid collectors. The asteroid collectors, it just blows me away. If it wasn't for the asteroid collectors, I think we would be able to hit... Well, the interesting thing is, without Promethean science, we were still dipping below 60. So it was probably still some of these other miscellaneous ships that were doing asteroid collection. But then again, we could probably upgrade all of these ships to turn off the asteroid collectors when these guys are backed up. Yeah. So yes, I had no idea the UPS for these asteroid collectors was so insane, but yeah, so that's number one thing. If you want to improve your UPS, hook up logic to all of your asteroid collectors, and we'd just go down to here and we'd say, okay, all three of these belts full, yes, turn off the asteroid collectors. Maybe put it a little bit further along. So we'll look at these two belts right here. Are these two belts full? Yes, turn off all the asteroid collectors. And then you've still got a bit of room for the reprocessing to do this thing. But yeah, then you would basically have... Well, these guys are backed up anyway because all of these belts are full. So I don't think these guys are going to be using too much UPS. This guy? No, this guy, even though he's traveling, wouldn't be using too much UPS. I mean, the vast majority of the asteroid collection UPS is going to be on these 4 ships that are doing their thing. The rest of them is going to be using barely any UPS. But yes, this UPS is a killer. It's an absolute killer. Which, I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure why it's a UPS killer, because I mean, when you're not actually looking at the ship, what is actually happening that you really need? Like the FPS, okay, I can sort of understand, it's waving around, but The UPS is basically just a case of, okay, we're about to click this asteroid. You wait a certain amount of time, then you click it, then you wait a certain amount of time, then it's in here. The actual animation of the arms and where the asteroid is in real times, I mean, you need that for FPS, you don't need that for UPS. All you need to do is you just say, okay, this chunk is floating around here, suddenly it's grabbed, suddenly it's inside here 3 seconds later or something. That's all you need. How this can be 11 when this is 0.7, and look at all the chunks flying everywhere. I mean, they must have, look, I think they probably did a lot of optimization on these little chunks because they are taking very little of the asteroid calculations, but the asteroid collectors, maybe these little chunks are factored into the asteroid collector UPS. That might explain something, because all of these little chunks, there's a ton of them. Like, the actual asteroids pretty much get blown up straight away. So yeah, if these little chunks were all part of the asteroid collector UPS calculations, then I could understand why that number is so high, because yeah, our explosive rockets are destroying every single asteroid so fast that only the chunks are left over. And there are a lot of chunks. There's an incredibly large amount of chunks that it has to keep track of. And so if it is calculating that, then I'm not sure how they could sort of improve the UPS. If it's purely just for the collector, then yeah, I would expect them to be able to fix that pretty easily. But if the asteroid collector UPS is also tracking all of the individual little chunks floating everywhere, then yeah, that's going to be a little bit hard. But I mean, yeah, 5K SPM space age base, including Promethium science. Somebody in the comments may disagree with me, but I'm going to call it here and say that it's impossible at 60 FPS, at 60 UPS, until something happens with that asteroid collector. Once the asteroid collector is fixed and it's down to like some ridiculously small number, like 1 or less than 1 or something like that, then you can fix all the other bits. And then, even if it was down to like 5, maybe you could sort of squeeze it in there, get it done. But yeah, if it's down to like 1 or something, then it's like smooth sailing, because everything else is just fine. You'd probably have to really bash the inserters though to get them down, but even so, I mean, I feel like it would be doable. So, after that very long and very comprehensive discussion about UPS, what are our ships doing? Looks like they're all heading back to the solar system. I thought some of them would have been back by now, but then again, there's a half-hour round trip, if you remember. And yeah, they've just kind of done the first 20 minutes of it while we've been talking. So there's really not much to talk about anymore. This is GPU time usage. I'm assuming the GPU time usage only takes into account like the FPS. And I wonder if this changes too much. Looks like it does, because the space dust just went down to 0. The space dust just went down to 0. The thruster jet flame. So if we go all the way down to the bottom of the ship, yeah, thruster jet flame suddenly spikes up quite a bit. And if we go up north, then the thruster jet flame goes back down to 0. Yeah, I'm assuming that all of these little chunks are UPS calculations that have to be calculated even when you're not on that screen, because obviously the asteroid collectors have to... Oh, okay, I don't want to do that. Collector nav mesh time usage. That sounds interesting. I don't know what these values mean. If we go back out to the ship, haven't really changed, so I'm assuming they're UPS. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna need, ooh, if I type in asteroid. I type in all of those. Nothing happened. Okay, we've got all those. What's going on here? Detailed usage, time usage, entity usage. It's not showing me the asteroid. Anyway, whatever. Maybe I need to click something else up here. I don't know. I don't know how to do this. Always. I don't know how to do this. But it's all good. It is all good. So, yeah. Is it in map view? Is it only when we're on a ship or something? Oh, I see. Okay. I see. I see what's going on. Okay, so it's some sort of visual thing. Okay, I mean, I don't know what most of these mean, but it looks pretty cool. But anyway, oh, there we go. See, all of the pretty little purple dots get picked up, and oh, it's actually tracking them before it's even in the nav box, which is cool. All right. Well, I'm not sure that's really any important information, because all that stuff we was just doing, that I did not see how that's taken up all that UPS, but it must be tracking. It must be tracking all of those little chunks. And here's the thing. Look, here's the thing. All right, let's say you wanted to improve your UPS. What do you have to do? You have to reduce the amount of these little chunks. How do you do that? Okay. How do you do that? Do you pick them all up with an asteroid collector? No, because then they're going to fill up. If you picked up every single thing, it would fill up your thing, and you would need a ton of asteroid collectors, and yeah, you would just wouldn't work. Now, not blowing up the asteroids is not a solution, because then your ship gets destroyed. So you're going to have to blow up every asteroid, regardless of whether you want the chunks or not. So having a thinner ship is one thing that'll definitely improve. But then again, if you have a thinner ship, you're Promethium chunks. Like right now, if we had a ship that was just this size, we'd be getting these ones and a little bit on the side. Whereas right now we're getting 4 times that much. Well, not quite 4 times as much, because we're still getting a bit on the side, but it's like 3 times that much. Each ship produces 3 times as much Promethium chunks as it would for a thin ship. And we calculated and said we would need 8 of these thick ships, so if you had thin ships, you need 24 thin ships. So you're not really gaining anything in the UPS department, because on average of those 24 ships, 12 of them would be flying through the asteroid field at any time. So you're still going to have a buttload of these little chunks going on. So how do you remove the chunks from the game? From a gameplay point of view, I really don't see how you can. You can't pick them up. You can't really destroy them. I mean, I'm pretty sure that we have conclusively proven here that no explosive rocket will blow up chunks. The chunks will survive no matter how many rockets get hit by it. So yeah, that's a question. I'm gonna be honest. When they designed this late game Shattered Planet, with all the asteroid chunks flying around, I'm not sure they really said, okay, let's optimize this to build a 5K. Maybe they probably did. Somebody probably put their hand up in a meeting and said, should we worry about a 5K SPM base and the UPS on all of these asteroid chunks for Promethium farming? And somebody else probably just said, look, let's just get the game out and we'll deal with that problem later, okay? Because, yeah. And I was probably that person. I would probably be like, okay, look, let's just get the game out there, and let's just worry about that later, because there's nobody who's going to be doing that. Well, actually, there clearly is. There's probably people who've already done 10K SPM bases in Factorio Space Age, or 20K, or 50K, or God knows how much. But I guarantee you they have not got a 50K Promethium science build going, because their computer would be dead unless they're running it on some sort of supercomputer somewhere. But yeah, so I just don't know. This mechanic is too new, and there's really no options that I can see to reduce the amount of chunks. Because you need chunks, you need a ton of them. And there's no way, as far as I know, to influence the ratio of Promethium chunks to normal chunks. Said that, if you go further out, I think the further out you go towards the Shattered Planet, the higher the ratio of Promethium asteroids to regular asteroids. So you probably go out there and you probably go like 200, 300, 400K or something like that. Having said that, in the previous video, we went out to 600K. And we were still getting tons of every type of asteroid. Like the amount of... we were still getting tons of them. Tons of the metal ones and the ice ones and the carbon ones. They were still everywhere. So we were getting way more shattered Promethium asteroids, but we were still getting tons of the other ones. So this, unless you go out to like a few million, like 2 million or 3 million or something like that, maybe you get to the point where you've just got Promethium, like 10 Promethium asteroids for every one of the other ones, potentially. But the thing is, going out to that distance is not feasible because A, it takes forever, and it takes forever to get back, and B, where are you going to put all that Promethium? You can't, I mean, you could build the science on the way, but how are you going to have that many biter eggs? And how are the biter eggs going to survive that long in space? They're going to perish. You'd have to produce legendary biter eggs, which, if you remember, have... If we go back to the biter eggs, legendary ones have a spoil time of 1 hour and 15 instead of 30 minutes. But you can only produce them on Now V, so you'd have to get them, produce them on Now V's, and we already, we discussed this a lot. Here's the thing, we discussed this a lot when we talked about making legendary prod modules, and putting down a legendary captive biter spawner will not produce legendary biter eggs. The only way to get legendary biter eggs is with this process, is constantly recycling them. So you're talking about, what did we say? 5K SPM divided by 3, because 5,000 divided by 3 divided by 60. So you're still looking at 27.8 legendary biter eggs per second. Okay, let me just sink that in. 27.8 legendary biter eggs per second. Just to give you a little bit extra time. And it's not gonna, let's be honest, it's not really gonna make much of a difference, because getting out, like, it's gonna take hours. To get to the 2 million mark, And we've got a big ship, so it's got a lot of speed. It was going to take hours. And even if you've got a really long, thin ship, you're still going to need a ton of space to produce the amount of stuff you need, like ammo and all that sort of crap. So basically, it's going to have to be a thin, long ship, and then you're going to have less engines because it's thin, but you're still going to need a huge amount of mass. You're probably not going 170 kilometers per second or something. You're probably going more like 110 or less even. And yeah, so it's going to take forever to get out there. So you can't take Vita eggs out there and craft them on the spot. You're going to have to go out to 2 million kilometers, and you're going to have to get all the ore, and you're going to have to store it. And where the hell are you going to store it on a thin ship? You can't. You just can't. This is a fat ship. We could store probably 50,000 on here, and you will be able to get 50,000 by going out to 200,000 K and then back. So you go out to 2 million to get more efficient forms of Promethium chunks where your UPS is not that badly damaged. And no, there's no way you can store that much Promethium. So you have to go out in the boondocks, in the outer reaches of the Promethium thing, where it's like 100,000 kilometers or 200,000 kilometers only, because you just can't store that much Promethium. And there, the ratio of Promethium asteroids to the other ones is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. You're going to have so many chunks, it's not even funny. So yeah, that's basically it. See, now look at our UPS. Our UPS is up to like 55. Why? Because every single one of these guys is, like, this one's most of the way back to Aquilo. This one's most of the way. So if you have a look at their entity time usage, the asteroid collector is down to 4.5. Our inserters are, okay, what the hell? Our inserters are down to 1.6. That's not necessarily because what may have happened, and I think this is what happened. Yeah, we ran out of Promethium, so our entire base shut down. That is why that's happened. So it's not that the vast majority of inserters are on the asteroid collectors, it's that the base shut down, so all the inserters turned off. So a similar thing happened with the assembly machines, although they're still going quite a bit. But you can see asteroid collectors have gone down to about 4. So they're doing okay at the moment, but we just pushed too hard. We pushed the game too hard, too fast. Having said that, my computer is 5 years old. I think it's got an i7 in it. It's got 32 gig of RAM. So it's a decent machine. It's a pretty decent machine, but still, if I bring up Task Manager, yeah, it is. There is some other stuff running on my computer as well. Obviously, I'm running XSplit. If I turned off XSplit, then maybe it would improve it quite a bit. But then again, maybe it wouldn't. But yeah, those asteroid collectors are just pain. Here's the interesting thing. This is like 6 or 7. According to my calculations, if it's less than 16, we should be getting 60 FPS. Maybe there's a divide by 2 in there somewhere, which might explain what's going on. Yeah. I don't understand that. But I don't understand this entity's total and how it actually reflects the UPS. But anyway, we did a bunch of UPS calculations. Science 3. Why? Okay, you got 25. You should be interrupted. Is it waiting for ammo? Maybe it's waiting for ammo. Because this is not an interrupt, so this should just, I guess it's waiting until it's got enough ammo. Which, that actually went through a lot of rockets. The other ones, they didn't, well, they still went through 20. I better check some of the circuits on these guys. Are you actually filling this up? You are filling it up. It's filling it up to 30k. Okay. That's fine then, because what that means is this guy has been on a few trips, right? He's been on a few trips. Now, having said that, we don't actually need this to be an interrupt anymore, do we? We could just say Aquilo or request satisfied. What I might actually, yeah. And then we could say now vis. We can't drag that out, but yeah. I'm not going to worry about it now because we're pretty much done with the game, but we could say just put that out like normal. Having said that, we were out to 30k, now we're down to 18k, which means that the last time it went on a full loop, it went around and then it got back, and it started at 30k, and then by the time it got back to the solar system edge, it was at like 25k, and then it did another full loop, and then it was at 22k, and then it did another full loop, and suddenly it's at 18k. So that means we are draining the amount of explosive ammo by a net negative amount every time we do a full loop. So yeah, legendary assemblers on here would definitely solve that, as well as this. If we look at deeper space, what are you doing? How are you going with your ammo? It's 30k, it's just maintaining 30k. So obviously the fact that we've got the legendary speed beacons, legendary speed modules here are making a huge difference to the way at which it can keep building the ammo up. Yeah. But that's pretty much it. I think we're kind of done. What are these guys doing at the moment? They're waiting at Aquilo. We definitely need to sort of... I haven't really spaced these guys out too much. I did go over to Aquilo, and I went over and I introduced a second rocket. So now we got 2 rockets. This guy needs some speed modules. I forgot to add speed modules, but this guy has a few speed modules. We'll add a few to this one, and then it'll start working a lot quicker. But yeah, added a second rocket to that, so that'll shoot them out. But yeah, these rockets definitely, these space platforms definitely need to be staggered, because right now they all arrive at Aquilo at the same time, and they're all just sitting there waiting. So we could probably speed them up a little bit by doing that sort of thing. But in the grand scheme of things, it's probably like a few minutes or something like that. Yeah, and we could add a few more rockets as there to send off the quantum processes as well. But we're definitely producing enough. That process backs up quite well. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. I think that's pretty much it for the playthrough. I mean, we've talked through quite enough to be able to say, yeah, it is what it is. What's going on here? Are you waiting for 1.4k? Okay, there's 400 on the way. All right, so this one's done. This one's got its 1.4k. It's going back, and as soon as it gets back to Nalvis, it's going to get some biter eggs. This is the only annoying thing I don't like about this, is that it's going to keep getting biter eggs even after it's used up all its Promethium. And that actually delays the departure of the ship from... It should be leaving straight away, but it waits to get some more biter eggs. And it's not even part of the request. It's not even part of the request to do that, but yeah, it just is what it is. It just is what it is. Yeah, but I definitely would put the schedules in there. So go to the Shattered Planet, then it goes, after the Shattered Planet, it just goes straight to Aquilo, straight to Nalvis, and then it goes to the Solar System Edge, and that's when it does the ammo check. Because that'll give it a lot more time. Whereas right now, this bloody ship, which ship was it? It went back from the Shattered Planet, went to the Solar System Edge, and then it did the ammo check, and then it said, okay, I'm going to wait until I go to Aquilo, when it should have just went straight to Aquilo. So that's a little bit of the thing there. Although this one, did I force it? I can't remember if I forced it. But it looks like it just went, it must have tripped over 20k or something like that, and then decided it wanted to go to Aquilo. Okay, yes, so asteroid collectors are still at 3.2. I assume because some of these ships, like this one, is still traveling back So it's still got a bunch of stuff going on here, but that'll eventually go down a bit more. Oh, what the hell just happened there? Something just happened. Am I still recording here? I think I may not be recording anymore. Okay, if I'm still recording and you're listening to my voice, then excellent news. That's great. If I'm no longer recording, then I am wasting my breath and my computer is not a happy camper. But I'm getting rid of this computer soon anyway, so who really cares? Press the... Last time it happened, it recovered at this point. It definitely recovered. So we'll press Control or Delete and we'll see what happens. Escape, Alt Tab. Is my computer still running? My computer is turned off. I'm talking for no reason. Now it's kind of, the power button's on. I don't know why I'm still talking. What the hell's going on here? Okay, welcome back. So my computer crashed and I had to restart it, and somehow it kept recording the entire time my screens were blank, and eventually I just hit the power button and yes, then the recording stopped. So it must have been working in the background, but whatever. So what a way to end the video. My computer is falling over and my base is falling over, and we're just, basically, my base is just sort of gliding almost. The engine has gone out, so we're just gliding to the end of it, and my computer is doing the same. So this is not how I expect the end of the series to go, but it is how the end of the series is going. So what ship is going to get here first? This one. So I'll wait for this one to get here. We'll get rid of this display. I don't think we need it anymore, but... yeah, this one is gone through Aquilo. It's got its bunch of things going on. This one will be getting a bunch of them as well. 600 on the way. I think the rocket capacity is 200, so it's not too bad. And I get 1400 because that's enough to process 28,000 of the Promethium. So, and of course, there will be a bunch just backed up in the belts all the way back, because it just gets so much. So that's kind of just to sort of keep on top of that. So it's absolutely should be no Promethium left over at the end, because we just got a ton of these Promethium things, of these quantum processors. So we'll just wait, we'll just watch this guy go in, and then we will sort of watch our graphs, I guess. So global statistics, science. Yeah. So we had our Promethium science packs. They started getting built about 57 minutes ago. So it's pretty much exactly an hour round trip. Again, we could speed that up. One of the places we could speed that up is on Aquilo. The other way we could speed that up is by staggering the ships. I was hoping they would sort of stagger themselves naturally, but unfortunately, the problem is the way it unloads. It unloads the science. They don't just have one ship fully unloads and then another one fully unloads. They kind of unload evenly between them, which makes it very, very hard to sort of stagger the ships. Yeah, it makes it very, very hard to stagger the ships. You could send the ships off with science still in them, and maybe try and stagger it that way and have some sort of logic or circuit or blah, 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 blah. So that no matter what, it leaves after landing at Nalvis for like 2 minutes, but then there's a chance that it has Promethium things in it. You could delay some ships so that then they get there, they always leave 2 minutes afterwards or something like that. But I feel like the best way to stagger them is probably just to like stagger them manually, like send them off, like put them all on the edge of the solar system, and then you send one off and you say, okay, I've got 8 ships, they take an hour, so I'm going to send the first one off, and then 60 minutes divided by 8 is like 7.5, so you send one off, and then 7.5 minutes later you send the next one off, and then 7.5 minutes later you send the next one off, and you do it like that, and then you're probably not going to have too many problems with the science backing up in now V's, because I mean 7.5 minutes is probably enough to unload a full ship. Maybe you might end up with a situation where a ship's got like 1,000 science left in it by the time the next ship shows up, and then if the ship with 1,000 science in it stops unloading because the next one with 20,000 science starts unloading, then you're screwed. Then you're really, really screwed, because the whole cycle will just sort of fall over in a heap, and the ships will all just back up on now V's, and it'll be terrible. But then, I mean, the way to get around that is just to create more of these, so you can do them all at the same time, and you upgrade Aquilo so that you've got like 8 rocket silos all sending off quantum processors, and then it's not a big deal. Then it's just like, meh, they're going to sit idle, but when all the ships get there, they can fill them all up really, really quickly. But it is, you could just do 10 ships, 10 spaceships instead of 8 ships, and then you're always guaranteed to have enough because you just got way too many ships. But then again, your UPS is even worse. So yeah. So, but we got some. Have we got some Promethium? We got some Promethean science being sent off. This guy is going to be chugging along for a very decent amount of time. Oh, there's no Promethium actually in here, but I was looking in the hub for the Promethium, but it's all out on the belt. But yeah. You can see these guys, they're more than fast enough. It's actually I could put a few more. I thought 3 bulk inserters would be fast enough, but I guess maybe because we put legendary guys on here. We could do that, make it a little bit faster. Oh, and now we need you there. Okay, well that's improved our speed by quite a bit, so that's good. I'm not going to do these for all the ships, but yeah, that's nice. Who would have thought we need legendary inserters to offload the science packs from this bloody thing? That is very impressive. Okay, so that stuff should get hooked up while we're waiting. But yeah, so, have we accomplished 5k SPM? No. Could we have accomplished 5k SPM with a minimum of effort and a few more hours? Yes. Have we accomplished 5k SPM, keeping under the UPS limit? Hell no. Do we know how to accomplish 5k SPM keeping under the UPS limit? Hell no. So, that's kind of the end of the series, I think. I think we're going to make that the end of the series. I think, yeah, I mean, it was all about a 5k SPM base. I remember I said at the start that I was not going to mess around with quality, but we definitely needed to. I mean, we definitely needed to, because number one are DSM ships, legendary prod modules here. I mean, that would have been so much more painful if we hadn't had legendary prod modules on this ship. That would have been just, like, we went from, what was it, 80% productivity to 200% productivity. So, yeah, we would have had, instead of 8 ships needed, we would have needed something like 15 or 14 or 13 or something like that, which would have been even more painful. And yeah, the Aquilo base as well would have been like, this would have had to be like double or the size of it, way more resources taken in. It would have been nuts. So yeah, legendary prod modules, every step of the way, incredibly awesome. And we made some use of some of the other legendary ones as well. I think that the turrets, the legendary turrets on these ships were a big lifesaver, and the rocket turrets and the railguns, the asteroid collectors. Okay, I don't think we could have made a Promethium science ship that was anywhere good as this without the legendary asteroid collectors. I think the asteroid collectors and the prod modules were our number one quality picks for the entire series. And the legendary quality modules were kind of a gateway to that. So those three together kind of made it happen. The gun turret being legendary were great, but honestly, after we started using it, explosive rockets, they kind of went redundant quite quickly. The legendary rocket turrets were not necessary, but they helped quite a lot. But yeah, they helped mainly for our 600k trek. Do we actually need them for all of the DSMs? Possibly not. Possibly we could just get away without them, but it would be a bit scarier, I think. But I reckon we could probably do it. Maybe get some uncommons or rares or something like that. Like legendaries, it seems like a bit overkill. What else did we need for the quality? Like, did we really, really need? Yeah, these ones, the inserters. Yeah, I think we can call the legendary bulk inserters. I think there were some cases where they just made things incredibly easy. Like the number one thing I can think of off the top of my head was pulling the asteroids out of the asteroid collectors. I don't think we'd be able to get anywhere near the amount of the Promethium asteroid chunks, the speed that we needed without these legendary bulk inserters here. And definitely in some other places as well, like Fulgora, to get the trains going as fast as they needed to. Legendary bulk inserters were extremely helpful because a lot of this base depends on getting very fast throughput of all of the trains, and without the legendary inserters, legendary bulk inserters, it could not have happened. So yeah, as far as quality goes, there were some things that were required. Like so I'd say required was the legendary prod modules aren't technically required, but they made it so much easier. Same things with the legendary stack inserters, the legendary thingamybobs, asteroid collectors. You can almost say those guys are required. Pretty much everything else we could probably have ignored. Like the mech suit, obviously we could ignore. There's not much I can actually think of other than that we did. Aquilo, technically the bots, we had legendary bots with legendary row reports. We could have ignored that though, because that just helped us build the base, and we could have built the base by hand. It would have taken a lot longer, it would have been a lot more painful, but we could have done it by hand if we really wanted to. And the actual Megabase runs entirely on belts and pipes. It doesn't use bots for any of it, so yeah, that was fine. Unless you count like some of these heating towers, but we could have belted rocket fuel over there. That wouldn't have been a problem. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, I think. Not really much else to talk about. We did it. So there will be another video. So there's going to be a couple more videos. So first of all, I'm going to do a base tour, and it is going to be just sort of showing off all of the Megabase builds. It's going to be a very long video. It's not going to be a tutorial video. I'm going to do separate tutorial videos. I'll do a tutorial for each planet, and a tutorial for Nauvis, and a tutorial for a whole bunch of other stuff. Miscellaneous, shattered planet, fusion reactors, that sort of thing. I've got a list of the tutorials that I'm going to do, which is awesome. And yeah, as I said, base walkthrough. And the base walkthrough will pretty much just be focused on all of our different Megabase things, and we'll just do it in one big video. It kind of maybe I don't need to do that, because well, no, the tutorial is kind of focused on how to do your own and sort of all the funky things we did. So a tutorial video, I might spend like 20 minutes talking about blue science, and then like I won't even show military science because it's just boring as all hell. Whereas the base tour, we'll talk about both of them. We'll go through and we'll show you both of them. So yeah, I think I will do a base tour then. And the base tour will also show off like the fusion reactors and all that sort of stuff. All the key things that kind of make this base work and make this base awesome. So yeah, so our base tour and then tutorial videos, and that'll pretty much be it. I can't think of anything else. I did talk about doing a live stream to do the to do some of these, like the 40-hour thing. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm wrapping up my current computer setup because the computer's dying, and I'm also wrapping up my Factorio playthrough. And if I start doing something like that, then that's like another big project, and I really don't want another big project on Factorio. So yeah, so I'm just going to have to live with some of these achievements not being done. I don't think there's any way we could do a lot of these at... Oh, I could use an atomic bomb. But let's finish off the episode by using an atomic bomb. That's going to be awesome. All right, give me some assemblers. And you know what? What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go over to my... what are we going to do? We're going to go over to here, and guess who automated rocket launchers for the production of these rocket turrets? So guess who has 5 legendary... Do not trash unrequested. Give me back my legendary rocket launcher. Give me back my legendary rocket launcher. Okay, I built it. I want it. I am going to have it. Give it back to me. So we're going to use a legendary rocket launcher. We are not going to be launching a legendary atomic bomb because nuts to that. But we're going to have some fun here. We're going to have a lot of fun in this game to finish it off. All right? We have a lot of fun to finish off this game. And I just got to think about what some really good things are that we can blow up with our atomic bombs. Obviously, we're going to blow ourselves up, but I'm going to leave that for last. So let's have a look-see here. I think I definitely want as many of these as I can get, because blowing up high-tier modules is always fun. Here we go. That's a lot of prod modules, and we'll get a bunch more prod modules when we'll go over to the other base. We've pretty much tapped out this one. Let's go over to the other base and see how many modules we can get. Let's see. As another 1,000 in this base, that is awesome. So, there we go. We've got a whole bunch of modules going on here. I forgot, we need to actually make the nukes, don't we? Let's go and make the nuke up here. Okay, no, you need to be a requested chest. Let's make you a requested chest. So let's build some atomic bombs. We've got everything we need. That's good news. So, let us go ahead and let's go over here into this area. Yeah, let's go and put a chest over here, and a chest over here, and a chest over here, and a chest over here. So this one will be filled with legendary prod module 3s. This one will be filled with legendary speed module 3s. And this one will be filled with legendary quality module 3s. Now, I do not have any legendary efficiency module 3s, but you guys have been going on about turbo transport belts. So let's just fill that full of turbo transport belts. Okay, so that is my current set of chests. So, do we save? I think I'll probably... I'm not really playing this anymore, but let's save anyway. Let's just save anyway. All right. I'll put some speed modules in there. Ironically, I don't have any more legendary speed modules, but I'll put some normal speed modules in there. All right. Give me an atomic bomb, please. Alrighty. So, I can't remember the key to actually shoot. It's like shift space or something like that. There we go. Am I too close? I might be too close. Okay. Oh, I just lost some bots. So there we go. We just destroyed, I should have counted them. There was a few thousand. There was at least 2,000 legendary prod modules and legendary speed modules and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so if you are all cringing, maybe I should have, you know what? I just realized I didn't torture you guys enough. We're going to do that again. We're going to make it, we're going to stretch that one out. Because yes, I just went ahead and did it. There was no build up or anything. It was just like, hey, I was looking for the key and I just found the key and suddenly they were gone. Maybe I'll leave that for last. Leave the prod modules for last. There we go. Okay. So what can we blow up? What do we got? Well, I want to blow up all the fusion reactors, but the problem is if I blow up the fusion reactors, then the base stops working, and that would make it less interesting to blow up other things. We could blow up some Spidertrons. That sounds like fun. Let's blow up all of our Spidertrons. Let's put the Spidertrons inside a group of all of these rockets. No, actually, you know what? We're going to go up to the north of our base. Yes, let's put the Spidertrons in the middle of... How many rocket silos is that? And I wonder if I can sort of shoot them just as some rockets are sort of taken off. There's not that many rockets taken off at the moment, but... Yeah. That's going to be awesome, though. Let's get all the Spidertrons over here, including the infamous concrete Spidertron, which is not used because I couldn't be bothered doing that sort of stuff, but let's get... Oh, I still got the prod modules in my inventory. I haven't put them in the thing yet. Oh, I got more. Did I think maybe there were more that I forgot to chuck in the chest. Okay, this will make the thingy... Alright, so we got our Spidertrons over here. So, here we go. Oh, by the way, the Spidertrons have all of this stuff inside them. All the prod modules, all the speed modules, all the rockets. So, let's go ahead and see what happens to all of these rocket turrets when we blow them up with a nuke. Okay. That was pretty awesome. It destroyed every single rocket. Holy crap. Okay. I think the Spidertrons just got rebuilt. I don't think they actually survived that. Yeah, well, none of my remotes work anymore, so I think the Spidertrons all got destroyed, and then they just got instantly rebuilt where they were. Okay, well, you bots have fun with that. I can't blow up a transport ship, I don't think. That's unfortunate. I would like to blow up a transport ship. I mean, we've already seen our DSM get blown up by asteroids, so that's not that helpful. I could blow up all these labs. Yeah, let's blow up all these labs. I got a few nukes. How many nukes do I have? Where are all my... well, I mean, I've got an infinite amount of nukes, so that's not a problem. Where's my nuke building? Over here. Definitely want to blow up the labs full of science. Definitely want to blow up this cargo bay. This cargo landing pad. Let's blow up the labs first. I got 7 nukes. Let's see how many of these we can do. Okay. Watch this. This is going to be awesome. Boom, boom. Oh, come on. There's reload time on this bloody thing. The nuclear rocket launcher has a reload time. Why did I bother making a legendary rocket launcher if it's got a reload time? Okay. We are destroying so many of these very expensive biolabs, which are, by the way, in case you didn't know, they're surrounded by legendary speed beacons and they all have legendary prod modules. So, yes. If you are not feeling very, very painful at the moment, then you bloody well should be, because that is a ton of legendary prod modules and speed modules that just got destroyed. Okay, let's have a look. How much science do we have in this hub right here? So we've got 120,000 Aquilo science, 70,000 Promethium science, 41,000 Volcano science, 41,000 space science, 41,000 tech science, and only 29,000 of the other science. So yeah, not that much science, to be honest. And we got a few fusion reactors as well in there, so that's fun. And yes. Oh, I actually killed myself. I was standing a little bit too close to the nuclear reaction. That's probably my fault, but yes. So what do we got left? We got to blow up a fusion reactor. I think that's going to be good to leave for last. Okay, well, we just respawned. Let's go over and grab up. Oh, we respawned. There's no more cargo hub, so all of the science just gets put over there. Okay, I got to do the slow walk, of shame over to get my body. It's such a slow walk. I like feel like I should be pressing Alt E to get my body back, but it's just not working. Yes. So fusion reactor, we definitely got to blow that up. At least, oh, that's what we need to do. That's going to be our final thing to blow up. Okay. So we need 2 more nukes, 2 more atomic. We need to get our character corpse again. Probably a few more times. Get me the legendary armor. Personal logistics. Get rid of all this stuff. I need to pick up my armor. I'm not picking up my armor. Trash unrequested. Unselect all those groups so the bots will automatically clear out our inventory. Had so much crap in there. There we go. Okay. Okay, that's good. Now we can turn that back on. Turn that back on. Give us some nukes as well. Give us some nukes. We've got some fusion reactors to go and blow up. Get rid of that pistol. We do not want that pistol. Give me some nukes, please. There we go. Alright, so we got some nukes. And we've still got a bunch of these. Where are all our quality modules? I didn't think I actually blew them up. Oh, of course, I put them in this chest down here that we have to go and blow up again. Okay. We'll save that till last. We'll save that one till last. Okay. How many of these do we have? 2,000, 1,800, and 900 of those. Okay, that's nice. Alrighty. Now, unfortunately, these, yeah. Let's see. Let's see if we can blow up this middle one. What's going to happen? I don't want to stand too close because I died last time. Okay. I didn't really see that properly. We need to blow up another one. Okay, we'll blow up one over the edge of the screen. I'll see. Is there anything special that happens? Not really. There's no thermonuclear fusion reaction or something like that. Ah, that's a bit disappointing. That is, yeah, that's quite disappointing. Okay. Well, what have we got left? How many nukes have I got? Am I running out of nukes? I shouldn't be running out of nukes. Well, I mean, obviously we got to blow up a nuclear power plant. Let's do that. That one didn't really do anything special anyway. Maybe, okay, hear me out. Maybe when you blow up a fusion reactor with bullets, it does something special. Okay, we're going to have to try that. Give me a gun. I need a gun. No, you know what we need? We need some grenades. Let's get some grenades. Let's get some old-fashioned... We're going to shoot a fusion reactor with grenades. We're going to throw some grenades on a fusion reactor. We're going to see what happens. That's going to be epic. That's going to be so epic. Yes. And then, after that, you know what we're going to do? You know, we're going to blow up our legendary mech armor. We're going to put it in a chest and we're going to blow it up. Because I know how much you guys wanted that legendary mech armor. So, yeah, we're just going to send it to the moon. All right. That's 100 grenades. I'm going to turn off my robots so they don't try and repair it, because that's not good news. But, yes. I'm going to blow up some fusion reactors with some grenades. Where are my grenades gone? Okay, here we go. All right, there we go. This is a fusion reactor. It's currently using the neighbor bonus. So yes, I do know what the neighbor bonus is. Anybody who has mentioned that I don't. But I just because, yeah, on Aquilo I didn't use the neighbor bonus, but I do know what it is. So there we go. Neighbor bonus, 1.2 gigawatts. And how do I throw? Oh, no, damn it. Okay, that was the wrong button. We blew up another fusion reactor, and it's 2 neighboring ones. We're running out of fusion reactors to blow up. How do I throw these again? Oh, it has to be in range. Okay, beautiful. Alrighty, let's... I wasn't in range, that's why it wasn't working. Oh, that was... It's a fusion reactor. What sort of explosion is that? That was just a little foom. That's just a little foom. What happens if I blow up... who's still working? Fusion generator. Just a little foom. I don't actually know how fusion power works, but I expected a bigger explosion than that, and I gotta say, I am very disappointed. So, what happens if we blow up a nuclear reactor with the grenades? I've never actually tried this before, but I'm assuming it puts on a better show. Not really. Not really. That looked nothing like an atomic bomb. That really didn't. Okay. Well, where's our nukes? You got any more nukes for me? I know I blew up our power supply, but we should still have nukes somewhere, right? Okay, I do. How is our power supply doing, by the way? It's holding on. We're a little bit out of power at the moment. We kind of need a bit more power, but yeah. If we look at our consumption, yeah, it's quite low. Somebody did something to the power supply. Okay, so, alright, come on, give us our nukes, please. I was standing right there. You couldn't give me the... I know you're all out of power and stuff. Okay, yeah. So the machine that produces the atomic warheads is running low on power for some strange reason. Okay. It is what it is. All right. That's fine. We're only going to launch 1 more nuke. Okay? And is there anywhere special we want to do it? Ah, yes. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. The last nuke is going to be the best one. It's going to be the best one. So we're going to go over to the quality center. Our big, beautiful quality center. And we're going to go into the middle of... Where's the best place to launch a nuke in here? You could launch it right here. We could launch it in the middle of the storage area. But we already took all the prod modules. So, yes. Let's just launch it right here. It's doing all the speed modules. It's doing a whole bunch of fancy circuit related stuff. There's legendary prod modules everywhere. So it's all good. Okay, let's put some chests down. Boom, 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 boom. All of my prod modules there. All of my things there. All of my speed modules there. And have I got any... Oh, legendary inserters. Let's chuck them in. Let's chuck in some belts. Let's chuck in some of those. And last but not least... I'm going to pull out all of the stuff out of my legendary armor. All of this stuff that took me so long to make. We're just going to chuck it in there. And finally... Yeah, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. Alright, we need to get rid of everything in our inventory. How do we do that? Okay. Boom and boom. Turn off personal logistics. Take off while flying. Oh, fine. Okay, we'll take it off. Now I cannot fly. I'm being stuck by buildings again. Oh god, it's so terrible. Okay, we need a special chest. Right in the... We can't put it right in the middle because I'm on a 2x2 grid, but we'll put it right here. This is our special chest. And there it is. Mech armor. Legendary quality. It's so good. And now we are going to sign off this playthrough. I do hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot. And most of all, I hope you had fun, because I definitely had fun. But this is it. This is the end of the video. And this is the end of me, because I'm not going to be respawning after this. So thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you guys later. I didn't actually see anything blow up because I died, but okay. Do we want to... No, we're just going to leave it there. Yeah, it is enough to know that all of that stuff got destroyed. The legendary mech armor, everything. It's all gone. So we are done here. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys later.